What is happening, my friends? Man, setting up a stream to do 7 things is a task. What's going on, you guys? How is it going this morning? Just trying to get the notification out on Discord. Boy, does it take a bit just to get everything set up. How you doing, Algo? Good to see you. Tim, good to see you. Also trying to put this thing out on TikTok. It's a heck of a task. Do you think it's a test? I stayed up till 2 in the morning going through 800 lines of code. Wow. Yeah, you're right. You got me beat. You got me beat. You definitely got me beat. There's no doubt about it. Well, you're just the algorithm, right? You're the guy who hangs out in people's streams and pushes their streams to the rest of YouTube. Right? So, maybe you could be my behind the scenes guy. I'm trying to figure out why there's nothing on the screen here. Yeah. Let me continue to work on that. 000, yeah. You're the original. You're the original AI. Okay. There we go. I think it's working. What's going on? Mr. Pez is in the building. Yo, 200 subs. Let's go, Grant. No way. Sick. I like seeing that. Cool. Morgan, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome in. Mr. Grant, Mr. Pez, Ms. Morgan. Good to see all 3 of you. Pez, I owe you an apology, but I decided to keep it for myself. What's going on, Thomas? How you doing? Just messing around, Pez. Oh man, yesterday was so funny. I'm still laughing about that, man. Oh gosh. It was a moment. Yeah, it was a moment. Okay. I'm just getting everything set up here. We're gonna start looking at options very, very shortly. It's just I have like 7 things to lock into. I wasn't though. I was at work. I swear. I promise. I am, you know, whatever. I promise I was at work and I wasn't drinking at work. Imane Patre et Fili et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen. There. I'm good. I have a higher accountability to keep me from lying. I only have wine or whatever on Sunday night because I'm off, or Monday. But yeah, no, it was just funny. It's just funny. Sorry for the blank screen, guys. I'm just firing up. This Thinkorswim kind of takes a while. So yeah, we're going to be looking at Thinkorswim today. If you guys would like to follow along. Of course, it fires up my actual account. Hang on. Okay. A little behind, trying to get everything. I got Discord running. I've got OBS running. I've got TikTok Studio running. I've got the music. Like, it's all this stuff that I gotta have come together. Because TikTok and Stream Elements don't play along, I guess. And because I'm not a gamer, I can't keep my account live for more than an hour. It's stupid. So I had to come up with another method. And I had to basically recreate another stream separate just for TikTok. It's just a mess. So, all right, let's see here. Should hopefully pop up on screen any second now. There it is. But it's not showing. There it is. I've got it. Gosh, what a mess. And the chat's not on screen either. I don't know what's going on with the chat. Again, I don't know. Technical difficulties. All right, let me go live on TikTok real quick. But how's everybody doing? If you guys want to watch the futures while we're doing this, and you want to shout something out, we can always jump over to futures for a few minutes. If you guys see something come up. Okay. All right, sweet. Okay. All right, cool. What's going on, Drew? Good to see you. Good to see you. Just trying to fix this. I don't know why the chat's not showing up on screen. I'm just trying to fix it real quick. If I can't fix it, I'll dump it and just figure out something else. But this is how my life is right now. So just bear with me, guys. Appreciate you. It's just taking a second here to get all the pieces to work together. I'm not a coder. 300 hours of coding is... I hope you got a video game by the end of that. That's insane. What's going on, Traders Date on TikTok? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, good to see you, man. We're going to do options today. So if you've never done options before, we're going to check that out. It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. Somehow, the on the screen's chat is not working. I don't know why. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm going to do a quick little test here. Did that show up on screen? Okay. What? Is going on? Why is it showing that box right there? Sorry guys, just trying to figure this crap out. That overlay chat box, I don't even have it. What's going on, Drew? Oh, I already said hi. Okay. See this box right here? Why is it showing this? Nope. Oh, I got it backwards. Oh, I got it backwards. Alright, hang on. What a mess. What a mess. Okay, there we go. Jeez. What a mess. Alright, what a mess. Okay. I don't know. I think the chat on screen's gonna be broken. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix it, but it's okay. We can push on. I don't know. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna have to move on. I don't know why chat chat is broken. All right. Okay. You guys ready to do some options stuff? Let's do some options stuff. Okay. Cool. All right, feel free, guys, if you've got questions, because this stuff is pretty heady. Like, there's a lot to it. Feel free to jump in and interrupt me if you got questions. Yeah, what's going on, Morgan? Let's go. If you got questions, we can stop at any time and go through something, because it's gonna take several sessions for you to fully like soak all this in and get all this in. Options can be complicated. From the beginning, it can be pretty complicated. So what we'll do here is I'll just briefly go over a couple of things just as a reminder, and then we'll jump in directly to the trades. Okay. Also, if you guys, I'm sure most of you already know, but I've got an options specific Discord now. And in that Discord, if you're in there, there's a place called Options Basic Training. Go in there, and I put a bunch of information in there yesterday that is kind of like a refresher, right? So I'll just go over a couple of things in there. When it comes to options, one contract, yeah, you should be in the Discord. What I'll do is, in case, let's see, how do I share my own damn Discord? I'm getting too old or something. I'm a boomer. I can't even remember how to share the Discord. I don't remember. Where's the damn button? There's too many buttons. Yeah. Oh, Simon, what's going on, Simon? Good to see you. Yeah, we had an interesting day yesterday, didn't we? Where the hell is the Discord share button? Pez, where's the Discord share button? Oh, it's so terrible. How do I share my own damn server? I can't believe I suck at this. Oh, there it is. No, invite to server. I think I got it. No. Yeah, never expire. Oh my god, where's the button? Is this it? That better be it. Alright. I don't know. Discord really sometimes can make my brain just hurt. Okay, that should be good. That's the Discord. So in the Discord, okay, so a couple things. One contract, if you're trading options, a contract basically is leverage. That's all it is. It's leverage. It's the ability to control or manipulate 100 shares in the market or of a specific stock, like Tesla or something like that, right? Why can't I adjust the volume? TikTok, let me know if the music's too loud. I'm trying to adjust it, but it's not letting me. I don't know why. Wait, there we go. Okay. And so we have the ability to manipulate and move 100 shares of a stock. And here's why you want to do this, right? If you have a stock that is $100 per share, you would need $10,000 to basically buy 100 shares. But you don't need to do that if you're doing a contract. You do need to have the collateral, right? But you can sell contracts and you can manipulate 100 shares and move them without actually having to put up, like actually buy the shares. I know that can be a little confusing, but you'll understand it after a bit. This means that it doesn't mean that you're planning to own the shares. It means you're mentally and financially okay of owning them if that happens. Okay, all right. But that doesn't mean you're not buying shares. You're buying the contract that controls the shares. Okay, it's gonna take a little bit to fully grasp that. All right. When you're selling a cash secured put, which basically means I'm putting my cash up for 100 shares, you are basically being paid to wait for those contracts, waiting for that contract to fully realize. And most of the time it expires and nothing happens. You just keep the premium, basically. That's what usually happens. So sorry, give me one sec here. Damn it. What the hell just happened? I don't know what's going on. The music started to... did you guys hear that? The music just went freaking crazy. Yeah, what's going on, Basic? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah. Alright, whatever. I don't know what that was. Okay. Yeah, I got a code too. If you guys are interested, right there's a Bull and Ox code. They don't do 91% very often. They do it like twice a year. So if you're gonna get an account, you should do it before the end of December. That code should still be good for me until the end of the year. And they give me a little bit of a commission for you guys using it, so I appreciate it. Okay, so if your stock stays above the strike price, the strike price basically means here's a price that you and the buyer, remember, we're selling stocks. We're stock options. We're never buying options. Not buying options. You can buy options in the market. You can do it, but it's risky AF. You really have to know what you're doing. You're basically sitting at a blackjack table, right? That's basically what you're doing if you're buying options. So I don't recommend it. This strategy, we're not buying options. There's only 2 cases that we would, but I'll get to that in a bit, right? We are selling options. That's really the first thing you need to like sink in. We're selling options. Selling options, selling options, selling options. Kind of burn that in your brain. What on earth are options? Yeah, Basic, we are getting into that right now. What you're looking at right now is options. This is Think or Swim, simulated trading. This is paper trading. Basically, you take an amount of money, right? $10,000, $5,000, whatever. You put it in an account, and then you allow that money to grow pretty rapidly by doing this strategy. You can turn $5,000, $10,000 into $7,000, $12,000, $13,000 pretty quickly. And it's way better than a savings account that just sits there with like 1% growth. Why does it keep doing that? Am I the only one experiencing that nonsense? Okay, so let's see. Hang on a sec. You guys don't hear anything strange? Okay, if it's just me, then that's fine. The music's doing weird stuff. And it's blowing my ear out. Okay. All right. So basically with options, we have the ability to leverage the ability to leverage. Oh, you're the best, Basic. 200 subs. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Basic. I'm going to give you a shout out in the chat. We got 2 subs. Basic was the 200th sub, y'all. You guys are awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm surprised it didn't pop up on screen. It should have popped up on screen. Let's go, son. If I see it come through, I will I'll replay it. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm just going through this briefly, and then we'll actually go into trades. I'll actually show you guys what we did last week and the money that we are going to be able to make in 1 week, when normally 2 to 3 to 4 weeks, but we'll take a look and see how we did last week. Okay, so if your stock stays above your strike price, you get to keep the premium, right? When you sell a contract, when you sell a stock contract, you collect the money. And I mean this. What happens is the money goes in your account immediately, and it stays there. It stays there. It doesn't leave. Okay, unless you want to do something. Is the music still too loud, Traders Date? I think I turned it down a little bit. Let me turn it down a little bit more. Let me know if that's better, or that might be too low now. Okay, so with the stock option, okay, you're gonna be able to collect this premium. This is real money, and this is your absolute, like, it's yours. Like, you get to keep it. Hang on a second. Okay, that money goes in your account. Last week we did this on Tesla. I sold a contract, and we immediately put $2,100 in our account, scot-free. That is our money. We sold the contract. We set the rules. We're the boss. That money goes into our account, and it stays there. And this is a real thing. Like, literally, I clicked a button and I made $2,100. It was that easy. There was no candles. There was none of that stuff, right? You have to still look at the charts, but it's not like futures where you're trying to trade and you're trying to catch a certain amount of ticks. It's not like that at all. You're selling a contract and you're getting paid a premium to sell that contract. And somebody on the other side, you basically put in this contract out into the world, and somebody's gonna buy it. And usually what people do is they'll buy it and then they'll scalp it. They'll buy it, they'll sell it, they'll buy it, they'll sell it, they'll buy it, they'll sell it. It's kind of like we do in futures, where we buy something and then we wait 20 ticks and then we sell it. That's what's happening on the other side of the market. In a sense, we're kind of like the prop firm, where we give the ability for that contract to be sold. We're putting that contract out into the world for people to whatever, buy or whatever. And there's an expiration date. The sweet spot is 0.25, 0.30 delta, which you'll see in a little bit, and 30 to 45 days expiration. Okay. All right. So if the stock, so you select a strike price. You say, we'll use Tesla for example. Tesla's at like $450 or something. We'll just say $400. Okay. A $400 stock on Tesla means that you need everything's multiplied by 100. You need $40,000 worth of collateral. That collateral basically says that you are okay with buying 100 shares of Tesla. Okay, doesn't mean that you are buying 100 shares of Tesla. You're just accepting that you will, if you need to. So you select $400. This is where you start this contract at, $400. Okay, and what you're doing is you're saying, okay, if we're calling the $400 is a strike price, all right, this price is basically where we strike the contract, right? You know, think about it like from a market perspective. As I know this is going to be a refresher for some of you guys, but this is pretty heady, so I'm just going to go through this for a few minutes and then we'll get into it. Okay. Your strike price is here, $400. If the stock stays above that strike price, $425, $450, within your 30 days of expiration, that premium that you spent is yours, 100%. It's already yours, but this contract will be worthless. It will expire worthless in the hands of a buyer, right? It's almost like if you gave a voucher ticket to somebody walking in to a casino and said, this is good for 30 minutes, and then they get distracted and they forget to use the ticket and it expires worthless. And you keep the premium. So if it expires at $425, game over. I keep 100% of the premium. The stock expired, the contract expired in my favor, and now I can do it again. So in this case of Tesla, I would have probably sold that contract for $2,100 within 2 weeks to 40 days, somewhere in that window. This is going to happen where over time that contract slowly depreciates. It depreciates a little bit every single day, like $5 a day or 50 cents a day. It becomes more worthless every single day. So if that happens, all right, cool. Let's open up another one, make another instant $2,100 and start it over. Now, what's the worst case scenario? You have a $400 strike price. If the stock price, Tesla, is at 410, 415, 400, 395, 365, 375, and let's say it closes at 380 by the time your contract is done, there's a possibility, it's not guaranteed, but there's a possibility that your contract is going to be exercised by the buyer, which means $400, $380. You said that the strike price is $400 and the current price is $380. So what that means is that you're going to be obligated to buy those 100 shares at $400 instead of $380. That's why you put up the collateral. Is this a bad thing? It may feel like a bad thing, but I promise you it's not. Okay? I promise you it's not. So then you're assigned. You buy 100 contracts at $380. You spend $38,000 on these shares. Okay? So now you've got them at $380. Something like Tesla is very volatile, so it jumps. The chance of it staying at 380 is probably very, very low. Okay, any questions so far before I move on? Any clarification you guys want on any of that so far? I want to make sure, give this to you guys in bite-sized pieces so you guys can learn options. Other guys are charging money for this information. There's other guys that are doing extreme amounts of mentorships and courses and all this crap. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I'm giving you this information just as is, because I want you guys to be successful. And I have the proof to show that it is a successful method. It's not even a strategy. It's just a method. It's just how you do it. It's like Warren Buffett and all those guys. They're like, how do they make so much money in the stock market? Well, because they're doing stuff like this. Are they getting lucky? Are they buying stock at whatever and then just waiting and it's going up? Sure, but most of the time they're doing stuff like this. They're leveraging their money to make more money. What's going on, Cody? Bridget, good to see you. Good to see you. If you guys are good, we'll move forward. We'll push forward. Okay. Feel free to jump in, ask any questions. All right. So now we've got 100 shares of Tesla because it's been 30 days. The contract expired. We didn't technically win the bet, right? It doesn't really matter too much, and here's why. Now we're going to do the second part of the wheel strategy. All right. The first part of the wheel is complete. We sold the contract. We got assigned 100 shares of this stock. Now part two. Part two is what we call selling a covered call. All right, in the stock market, in this strategy, you have puts and calls. Puts and calls. All right. You have your cash secured put, which is what we already did, and then you have your covered call, which is what we're about to do next. So assignment is not failure. It's just moving to step 2. That's all it is. Now you own 100 shares. You purchased it at a higher price than the stock market currently is trending at, or whatever, the current price. But the chances of it staying there is going to be pretty low. So now you have 100 shares. So once you get assigned, now, instead of putting your cash up as collateral, now you're going to put those 100 shares up as collateral. Same concept. And you're going to sell what's called a covered call. You're going to sell a covered call. It's the same thing. It's a contract in the market that you sell for a premium, and instead of putting cash up, you're putting your shares up. And what that's basically saying is, now we have a strike price again. In this case, I would probably choose a strike price of at least 400 or 405 or 410. And the reason why is because I want to at least break even. But it's actually better than breaking even, and the reason why is because you're always constantly collecting a premium. It's a bonus. You're always collecting a bonus. So you sell another covered call and you collect more income. And let's say you pick 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. And let's say the covered call is $1,800. All right, cool. I'll put my 100 shares up now that I got, and I'm going to put those up and say that if the strike price, say the strike price is 405. If the stock price hits 405, then my shares will get called away. What's going on, Julian? No bacon strat. Yeah, we could still do a bacon strat. That was awesome, wasn't it? If you guys want to watch the futures for me, somebody wants to call out something's happening, well, we can jump over there. So we're not 100% not doing futures. I'm just mainly focusing on this. I want people to start making some serious money in the market. But yeah, feel free, anybody, to call out something if you see it. Okay, so now we sell this covered call, and this covered call says if and I get to choose the price. I chose 405 or I choose 415 or whatever, which says that if the stock price hits 405 or 415, my shares will get called away. Guess what? If it doesn't hit 405 or 415, I get to keep my shares and I get to keep my premium. All mine. If you want to keep your shares, if you want to rotate and get rid of your shares and get your cash back, you really kind of want it to hit 400, 405 or whatever. But here's the thing. I bought the shares at $400. $400 each times 100, which is 40 grand. I put it out there at 405. That means that when I sell those shares, not only am I going to sell them at a higher price that I bought them, 405, but I'm also collected the premium to do it. It's a double. You get double money there. And once that happens and those shares are called away, you get your 40 grand back, but now you've got you started with 40 grand. You sold the original contract for 2,000, so now you have 42,000, and then you sold another contract for 1,800. That's almost 44,000, and then you sold it at a higher price than you bought the shares, so now you're looking at probably close to 45,000. You started with 40,000 and you finished with 45,000. You bought shares, you sold shares, you collected 2 premiums, and you sold them for a higher price. Your 40,000 is now 45,000. And now you can start the process over again. Okay, let's sell another share and make another 2 grand. Now I'm at 47,000. You see how this works? It's an insane process, and it's amazing. It's amazing how effing good it is. I mean that. In about what time? I would say the more you have, the quicker. obviously, because you can sell more contracts. But with Tesla, let's say if you had about 40, I'd say if you had about 40 to 50, you could probably turn and get another 5K within 1 to 2 months. 1 to 2 months. But that's 40K, right? Let's say you have 200K. Now you can do more. Now you're making about 15K in 2 months, right? You get this account up to 250K. Now you're looking at 15 to 20K in a couple of months. This thing compounds insanely. Insanely. You never lose. You never lose. The only, like, absolute loss is if the stock market crashes. But then everybody loses, right? So it's the same as if a meteor were to fall out of the sky. Yeah. Yeah, it is crazy, Tim. What's going on, Max? Good to see you. Welcome in. Welcome in. The minimum capital, I'd say you're going to struggle with about 5K. The minimum is going to be I would say the absolute minimum is $5,000. You really can't go lower than that. The absolute minimum is 5,000. 5 to 10,000 is a good spot. Wow, a good spot to start. I started with 6,000. I'm at a lot higher than that now. I'm at a lot higher than that now. I started with 6,000 actual cash, and then I started with 19,000 in my IRA. My IRA now is at 26,000. So I've been able to grow that account about 6,000 in just a few months. And you do have your ups and downs. You do have periods where it slows down a little bit, but I had 1 month where I made like $1,500 in like a week. I made like $1,500 in a week. And that kind of, just like in futures, right? You make a bunch and then you kind of wait it out a little bit. It's almost like you go into hibernation. That's kind of what happened. December is just, I guess it's just shit in the market all over the place. So special brokers, all you need is, I use Charles Schwab. You can use Fidelity. You can use Robinhood. Those are 3 that I know off the top of my head from the United States. I don't know about other countries though. Any broker that will hold an account or be able to hold money in an account, this is basically a super bank is all it is, should be able to do. It's just like if you're researching brokers in your country and you say, hey, and if I'm not mistaken, you can do Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab is the best. I've done Fidelity, I've done Robinhood, I prefer Charles Schwab. You should be able to do international. Interactive brokers in the EU, okay, cool. Yeah, I would see if you can do options with them, and you want to do level 1. Level 1 options. All you want to be able to do is technically buy and sell options. That's all you want to do. You don't need to do rolling orders. You don't need to do complicated, freaking butterflies and all this other shit, right? You can do that, but it's just going to melt your brain. It's not, just keep it as simple as possible. This is a very simple strategy once you fully learn it, and you can go too crazy with it. So I just say keep it simple and go level 1 options. Okay, let's continue. When one falls, we continue. All right. So you remember when I said don't buy options? And this will answer your question a little quicker, Tim. When I said don't buy options, but there's 2 special case scenarios. The first one is what's called a LEAP, L-E-A-P. It's a long entry, blah, 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 whatever. It's like you buying a contract and waiting like 1 to 2 years for it to close. It's a long, I don't know, if you want to do super, super long term, you can do it. It's basically the concept of, if you were to buy gold a year ago and sell it today, you would have made money. It's the same idea, right? I don't worry about that right now. Maybe that's something I'll get into later. Right now, I'm just focused on selling options because it's quicker, right? We're trying to make, what's What's the quickest path to income? That's what we're going for. The quickest path to income. That's our strategy. That's where the strategy shines. All right. In options. Okay. So buying options. We never buy options except for, we'll just break it down into one case scenario. And that is the contract that we sold and we have out there, we have the option to buy it back. We can buy it back early. Like I said, we are in 100% control of this contract. It's crazy. You would think once you put a contract out there, you can't touch it. Wrong. You can. You can close it early. So we put a contract out there for $2,000. We actually did this on stream on Tesla. We put a contract out for $2,000. We made $2,000 right off the bat. The next day, the stock market moved so high that that contract deteriorated by 50%. Basically, that means the contract was worth half of what it was before to a buyer, right? To a buyer. A buyer now who wants to buy that contract, it's half as worthless. Guess what? We can buy our own contract back. It's called buy to close. It's like when you're trading futures and you sell and then you click the buy button to close your position. We're going to buy our contract back. And what I ended up doing on stream is I bought the contract back for like 50% of the value, which means I sold it for $2,000. The next day, which usually doesn't happen this quickly, it dropped 50%. So in order for me to buy it back, I had to spend half. I basically spent like $1,600. Now, does that money come out of my pocket? No. That money came out of what I used to get the damn contract in the first place. I made $2,000 from the market. It goes directly in my account. I used, sorry, I keep saying, I got my numbers a little off. $2,000 is what I pulled out, and I ended up spending around $1,000 to buy it back. Of that $2,000, I spent $1,000. I bought that contract back. I closed it, and I kept $1,000. I made $1,000 in one day, basically. I made $2,000 originally, and I could have held it for 30 days, but why do that when I can buy it back pretty quickly and then rotate the capital again? So I basically put a $40,000. I made $2,000 on the premium. I spent $1,000 to close my own contract. Now I'm out. I get my cash collateral back. Now I've got $41,000 to now sell another contract, which is what we did. I immediately sold another contract and made another $2,000. And then I let this one sit for longer. I haven't watched it. Which is what we're going to look at today. See where it's at. I know that's a lot, and that's a lot of head stuff, but that kind of gives you the basic idea of how do you turn your money quicker? You buy back your own contracts. That's why this is 100% strategy. It's 100% strategy because I'm in full control of what happens. I have two choices. I can wait 30 to 45 days for that contract to expire on its own, and I'll either possibly get assigned 100 shares, or I'll keep 100% of the premium, which is fine. But why wait 30 days for $2,000 to realize within a week, possibly 2 weeks, you can close that contract, get another $1,000, get your $1,000, hold it, and then sell another contract and do the process again. So what happens? So if that happens, when you buy it back, you have the $1,000. Can you repeat the same process like 20 times a day, or is there a limit? Great question, Tim. Great question. Your limit is based on how much collateral you have. So if you only have $40,000 total and you're selling one contract in Tesla, then your limit is, well, I only have 40,000. If you had 100,000, you could probably do it twice. So every $40,000 controls 100 shares. So you could sell 2 contracts, which would control 200 shares. So you're limited by your own cash collateral, or you're limited by your own amount of shares. Some people do this when they already have shares. They already own 100 shares of a company, right? And those shares they're going to put their shares up as collateral. There's no cash. So they're limited by their shares. If they only have 100, they only have 100. They can only do 1 contract. That's a great question. I hope that makes sense. I hope I explained that well enough. But when you buy it back, you have everything back, right? Your collateral. Yes, absolutely, Tim. You get everything back. You get all your collateral back, or you get all your shares back, depending on if you're doing a cash secured put, you get all your cash back. If you're doing a covered call, covered means I'm covering this trade with shares. So you're covering it, right? You're like saying, hey, I'm good for this trade. I've got 100 shares. So you'll get your 100 shares back. In TikTok, if I missed any chats, please feel free to put them in again, because the chat's moving a bit. Okay. So if you guys are following in the Discord, in the options basic trading, I've got all this posted, right? We've been talking about Tesla, right? But who actually can buy Tesla? Even I can't buy Tesla. I mean, not right now, right? Tesla's freaking expensive, right? Yeah, okay. Sounds good, Tim. Yeah, you'll get it. Promise. It'll just take a little bit. And when it clicks, dude, you're gonna be like, holy shit. This is insane, dude. This is insane that I can do this. It's the closest thing I can come up with to free money. And this isn't my technique. I learned this from a guy named Alex Pandrea. And you can check out his options channel. He's Alex Pandrea. He's got an options channel. He's a magician. Funny, he's a magician. And he built a business. And then the money he made from his business, he started putting it in the stock market. He turned $16,000 into $1 million in just a couple years. $1 million from 16 grand doing this strategy. 16,000 is what he started with. Where have you been all my life? Right? So, okay. So if you're following in the Discord, what I did was I posted the different starting capitals, right? Because we don't all have just 40 grand sitting around, right? Most of us might have 3 to 5 to 7 grand. Okay. Earlier when I said 5,000, you could probably get away with 3,000, but it's gonna be tight. Really tight. Okay. I'm sure most people probably have maybe in savings a couple thousand. If you have a retirement account, you can do the same thing. Most of the time your retirement account is a lot higher. You can retire like 20 years early if you do this correctly. If you start early, you can retire early because you're using your retirement money, in an IRA or a Roth IRA or whatever, 401k, and you're doing this process, you're managing this money, and you're just getting more and more and more and more and more. And the more that you have, the more that you can make quicker. Okay. So, in the Discord, I've got the starting capitals posted and what we should be looking at to trade. If you're $3,000 to $5,000 starting capital, you should be looking at stocks like Intel and SMCI, which is Super Micro Computers. The reason why is because their strike price is going to be around 3 to 5, 30 to 50, right? To buy one share is going to cost you like $35. Right, $35 times 100 is $3,500. So you can start with $3,500 doing one contract, selling one contract, or you can buy one share. Why buy 100 shares? Sorry, you can buy 100 shares straight, but you don't make a premium. So you have guy A who buys 100 shares of, let's say he buys 100 shares of Intel at $3,500. And you have guy B who also puts up the ability to buy 100 shares, except for he doesn't buy 100 shares. He sells a contract that says, I'm willing to buy 100 shares. And you're going to pay me a premium. You're going to pay me a couple $100, whatever it is, to put my own cash up as collateral. So guy A buys 100 shares and just sits on it. Nothing happens. Maybe he waits a month, maybe he waits 2 months, maybe it goes up $10 and maybe he sells it and flips it. Maybe not. In the meantime, guy B, which is what we're doing, he's selling contracts, he's collecting premiums, he's rotating his capital. It's not just sitting there, it's not just tied up. It's not, I call it, my money is a hostage, right? And then I kind of go from there. 5,000 to 7,000. You can trade Delta, PayPal, and Coca-Cola. The reason why I picked these is because they're safe, stable stocks. They have good premiums, and they're in the S&P 500. You gotta be smart with which stock you pick. You don't want to pick some garbage stock that's going to crash and go to zero, because that's how you're going to lose everything. Yes, you can lose everything if the stock goes to zero, but Coca-Cola has been around for 90 years. I don't think their stock's going to zero, right? So that's why we're picking those. From 7,000 to 12,000, you can look at General Motors. Again, General Motors has been around since the beginning of time. I think Jesus had a washing machine made by General Motors, right? That's how he washed his disciples' feet. He used General Motors, right? United Airlines and Walmart also been around for a long time. Their stocks are what? Around $100 per share. 12,000 plus, you can do. Did I do Intel? I put Intel in here twice. I gotta fix that. I put Intel in here twice. Should say NVIDIA. I gotta fix that. NVIDIA, not Intel. You can do Intel for a lot cheaper. Intel is around $30 a share. NVIDIA is around 100-ish something, 180. I gotta change that. And then above 50,000, if you have above 50,000 in this account, and eventually you will, you're gonna be able to trade stuff like Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, Meta, Google. These are the extremely liquid institutional favorites, right? They are ideal for this strategy because they're so big. They're the big boys. They're the big dogs. They're the blue chip stocks. They're the ones that are in the news every week, and they're the ones that are the most stable and people trade the most. The more people that are involved in that stock, the better this strategy. Okay. I hope that was a good little refresher. I didn't want to go too deep into it. I'm like an hour into it. But I am happy to go over anything. But we'll start looking at our progress. We'll start looking at the actual trades that we did. Feel free to stop me for questions. Okay. Just save that. All right. Excellent. Okay. All right, let's continue. All right, sick. Okay, so let's look at what we actually did here. I don't know why the chat box... I'm just going to turn the chat box off. For whatever reason, it's broken. We'll fix it later. All right, there's not going to be any chat on screen. Whatever. Okay, so last week... Probably turn this border off. Let's do this for now. Okay. All right, so this is Think or Swim, right? This is Think or Swim that you guys are looking at on TikTok, Think or Swim. Okay. If you're on TikTok, you want to see better, come over to YouTube. You can see more of the screen. So, yeah. Okay. So let's look at what did we do last week? Okay. Right here in the top spot here. On 12/12, which was 6 days ago, we sold Tesla, SMCI, and Delta Airlines. Okay. Yeah. All right. So Tesla, what we did, we sold. Let's see. Okay. Here you go. We sold a contract for $11.80, which is it's times 100, $1,100.80. Okay, right there. You guys see that? $1,100.80. This contract is still open. We did this, and then we closed it the next day, and we made a nice little chunk of cash. Which I'm trying to see if I can show that. The paper trading can be a little funky sometimes. Anyways. So now look, do you see where it says trade price? That's what we traded at. We traded at and we made $1,100 like that, okay? Is that right? One sec. Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's right. Oh, sorry. This is the second one that we did. The first one is already done. We closed that one out, right? And if you look over here, where my head is, you see where it says cash and sweep vehicle? We started this account is a $125,000 account, right? You can see that up here in the corner. It's a paper account. They start you at $125,000. What's going on, Seal? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. I closed the contract and I kept $2,000. Just like that. In one day, I made $2,000 on this account. Okay? One day. Then what I did is I took that and I rotated it again and I sold another one for $11.80. And this one is still open. This is realized profit, which means this is what we've kept in our account and there's nothing open about this. This is the actual number. But it's not actually the actual number because we have sold contracts. You can't see it as well on Thinkorswim. You see it more on like the broker, but it will show your current P&L, and it'll say, oh, you sold this contract for $2,000. It's still unrealized. All right, it's still, and because the contract is open, it hasn't like registered as being completely closed, even though that money is in your account. I know that's confusing. That's the way they show it. They show it as unrealized. And they just do that to so that way you don't like think you have more money than you actually do. Oh man, who else is streaming? Pez? Dan, are they all streaming? Okay. Yeah, 3 streams. Well, this one will be on record So you guys can, oh, okay. Pez is streaming. Cool. And TTE, is that Titans of Tomorrow? Titans of, I don't know. Pez in the chat. Okay, cool. So we're at $127,000 realized profit. Oh, time to eat. Okay, cool. So let's look at where we're at right now. I sold another Tesla contract immediately after that on 16th of January. Does it show? Yeah, okay. 16th of January. 100, it's for 100 shares. It's a 425 put. That means that the price is that we agree on. The sounds good, Seal. Sounds good. The strike price is 425. Trade price, I made $1,180 by clicking the button. Now, where's it at? The mark is at 9,425 times 1,000. This is $940. If I wanted to close this contract right now, I would keep the difference, basically. But I don't want to because I want to make more than that. I'm looking for about 75% deterioration before I close it. Hang on a sec. TikTok's being dumb. Thinks I'm a robot. Okay, cool. So what that means here is the stock price is currently at $477. You see that where it says mark? Tesla is trading at $477. I said $425. So it's higher. It's at a higher price than where I opened that contract. That's good. That means this contract is going to expire worthless. I'm going to keep everything. Top G on options. That's right, Seal. Appreciate it. I'll save all the videos, and when you have the money to invest, you can watch them back. Yeah, thanks for teaching. Absolutely, Seal. Yeah, if you start making money in futures and you want to do a personal account, this is the way to do a personal account. Let prop firms take the leverage for you when it comes to futures. I don't recommend using your own money because you're basically you're playing cards at that point, right? You're rolling the dice. So this is a way to secure profits 100% guaranteed and not lose, but then also do passive income. You just open it and you sit and you wait. Okay, so Tesla, Tesla's doing good right now, right? I could close this contract right now and put and secure cash. What's going on, Dean? Good to see you, my friend. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right, I also sold SMCI. I sold 2 contracts of SMCI. Keep in mind, how much did I need for each of these, right? For the Tesla, $425 is what I said the price would be. That means I'm willing to buy 100 shares at $425 per share if this contract expires not in my favor. I didn't lose. It just didn't expire in my favor, right? We explained that earlier. So that's $425, right? Times 100, that's $42,500. Okay. The next one here is this put. We talked about Tesla, but who actually has $40,000 to $50,000 in their account right now? Probably not very many people, right? Probably almost nobody. But eventually, the reason I did this because I wanted you to see it eventually. What is the tough percent profit you make on this strategy? I'd say average throughout the year, 50%. 45 to 50%. So that means if you start with 10,000, by the end of the year, you'll have 15. If you start with 100,000, by the end of the year, you'll have 150,000. So yeah, about 50%. There is no bank on this planet that's going to pay you 50% interest. Not even a high yield savings account. Not even just buying and selling stocks. because we are kind of doing that, but because we're collecting a premium, it puts us way ahead of the game. You could buy and sell the S&P 500 and probably make about 12%. 12 to 14% on average. The S&P 500 goes up every year. We're doing 50%. Yeah, exactly, Dean. 5% is good. You know, I've got some custodial accounts for the kids, and I just basically buy S&P 500, set it, and forget it. That's all I'm doing with those. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because I don't need to manage I don't need to manage those accounts too closely. I just buy them, and then in 20 years when I give them to my kids, they'll be fine. Right? They'll be fine. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue. When one falls, we continue. Okay. Awesome. All right. Let's continue. So, SMCI, which is probably what most of us will be able to do, right? I'm able to do SMCI. You guys are probably, once you get $3,000 to $5,000 in your account, you'll be able to do SMCI. So how much money did we make on SMCI here? 100 shares on the. I sold this contract to expire on the 16th of January. Right, that's a month. And that basically gives me leverage of 100 shares of SMCI, which is a well-known stock. And we said, this is the 26, that is a 31. So this is $31 per share times 100 is $3,100. All right. I basically put up $3,100 as collateral to sell this sell this contract. But I sold 2 of them. So I put $6,200 up. I sold 2 contracts. This is where it starts scaling. Is if you have more money, you can sell more contracts. Instead of just doing 1, sell 2. Same stock, same price, same everything, just sell 2 instead of 1. 29 days left for expiration. Ugh. All right. We did a trade price of $1.20, which times 100 is $120. $120. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Tesla, the mark is lower than the trade price. On SMCI, the mark is higher. And what that means is that the stock has gone down, right? Nobody wants stock prices to go down. Well, it happens, okay? But it's okay. It's not a big deal. So where it says here $295, if I were to close this contract right now, it would cost me $295. But I only made, when I opened it, I spent $120. So it'd be an absolute foolishment to close this contract and I'd have to spend $295 to close it when I only made $120. We don't want to do that. That would be bad, right? This is how much it's moved just today, $29, right? We don't want to do that. So we have 2 options with this. Well, you only have 1 option. You just gotta wait. You just gotta wait. We have this contract open for 30 days. Just gonna have to wait. SMCI is pretty volatile. It moves a lot. So once the stock price comes back up, then this number will change, right? Right now, the contract is worth more than what I put it out there for. So if somebody wants to buy this contract, they're going to have to spend $295. I don't want to buy the contract back. I want it to expire to 0, right? So in this case, we have to wait, right? We have to wait. And if we wait and this happens to where this contract the price of the stock just keeps falling and falling and falling, or it falls and it stays there for a while, what's going to happen is, let's say it falls to $25. I sold it for $31. Let's say it falls to $25 per share and stays there. Then my $3,100 that I put up for collateral is going to get used to buy 100 shares. In this case, I've got 2 contracts, so I'm actually going to be spending $6,200. And I'm going to be buying those shares at $31 per share instead of $25 per share. $25 per share at that time is what the stock is trading at. So am I getting into these shares for higher than they're actually valued? Yeah. But that's the stock market, right? It's always moving. But that's okay, and that's why I'm going to leave this one here, because I want you guys to see the process of this happening. It might take a couple weeks, but if it gets assigned, it's not failure. If I buy 100 shares, it's not failure. It's not failure. It means now I can use those 100 shares to make more money. That's why this wheel strategy is so damn good, because no matter what happens, I can make money. I can make money on the way up. I can make money on the way down. Who doesn't want that? Right? Who doesn't want that? That is just sick to me. Stock exchange opens in 15 minutes too, so. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So we'll leave SMCI open for a bit. Also, earnings, if you're doing this, try and do this after earnings. Earnings basically is the company who owns those shares putting out dividends to their shareholders saying, hey, we did really good this quarter. We're going to give you, I don't know, 0.3% or something like that, right? Gonna head out. The current market's not working for me. Cooking my sleep schedule. Oh yeah, sounds good, Dean. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Welcome in and bye. No, yeah, sounds good, Dean. Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for being here. All right, so if you're gonna do this strategy, then make sure you do it after earnings. You want it's a little bit of an unstable time, because the company is like going through an evaluation. I kind of think of it like, I don't know, some reptile shedding its old skin to then put on a new skin and then like move forward with the new skin. And that's a really gross, weird way of thinking of it, but that's basically the idea. They're reevaluating the company for that quarter, and they pay their dividends to their shareholders. And then they're like, okay, now what, right? Sometimes that can happen and it can get a little crazy. So you want to wait till after earnings. Or like a month before. Like once you get within a week of earnings, as you can see here, we have Delta Airlines is doing earnings on 1/9. We got some time. Okay. So let's look at Delta Airlines. I sold Delta Airlines contracts as well. And I sold them for $67. So this is the tier. I did 3 different tiers here. If you have about $40,000, you could sell Tesla. If you have about $3,500, you can sell SMCI or Intel. Intel's a good one too. If you have around $6,000 to $7,000, you can sell Delta Airlines, Coca-Cola, PayPal. There's others that you can sell too, but those are the ones that I recommend. If you have around $10,000, you can sell United Airlines, which is my favorite because it's so good. I made so much money off United Airlines. McDonald's, you might be able to. Yeah, you might be able to, Max. That's funny. Walmart, you can sell Walmart stock. You can even sell Chipotle stock if you want to get into the burrito business, right? Okay. So let's look at Delta. I like Delta and United because they always seem to be going up, right? We'll look at the charts too. So this contract, it's 100 shares. It expires on the 16th of January, 2026. Oh, that's a good idea, Max. I like that. Yeah, you get the full package there. I like that. This expires on the 16th of January, and the contract strike price, it's the locked-in price, is at $67.50. Okay. Let's see how it's doing. We sold it for $2.17 per share, which means multiply by 100. We made $217 off this trade. The mark is currently at 2.365. Right? Just like with this one, it's higher. But slightly. So this means that the stock price is actually lower than our strike price. Just by a touch. So if I buy $20, right? If I wanted to sell and if I wanted to close this contract, I'd have to spend this. I don't need to right now. Right? I don't need to. I'll just let this one continue to cook. Your sweet spot is 30 days. So you want to shoot for 30 days, but sometimes, like in the case of Tesla, I can close it the next day if I wanted to. So what I have up here in the red and the green are orders to be filled. All right, and what that basically means here is I'm saying that I did my math, right? I said, let's say I sold something for $200. I'm looking at 75% of that contract falling apart. That's when I want to buy it back. I want to buy it back there, right? So that means, let's say it's $200. $200 times 4 is $25. So when that contract is valued at $25, I sold it for $200. It's deteriorated over time. It always deteriorates because of what's called theta, which is called the Greeks. It deteriorates naturally. It's now at $25. I'm going to buy it back. I'm going to close that contract. And I'm going to keep $150. Wait, I did my math wrong. Sorry. $200 divided by 4 is $50, not $25. Right? I'm going to spend $50 to buy that contract back, close it. I'll get my $150 back. Sorry, I'll keep my $150. I'll get my collateral back. My collateral, the cash that I put up. Well, I'll get back. And then guess what? I turn around and sell another one. And I make another $200 like that. That's why you want to buy back your own contracts when it's deteriorated to about 75%. You can do 50% and probably rotate it quicker, but the sweet spot is 75%. It's usually about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks that it deteriorates that much. So in this case, if you look at SMCI, I have a buy to close order here for the strike price of $31. When that contract deteriorates to 30 cents, I want to buy it back. I sold that contract for $1.20. 30 cents is a quarter of $1.20. So by the time it gets to 30 cents, 75% of that contract is gone. The value. I'll buy it back at 30 cents. It'll close that contract. I'll keep $90 in this case. And then I'll turn around and sell another one for another $120. That money goes directly into my account, and it only leaves my account if I decide to buy back my own contract. Are you guys seeing how that's coming together? I keep the premium. I keep the $120 unless I want to buy back my own contract or I end up buying 100 shares. But then I get the shares. The shares can be used just as well. The shares are just as good as the money. It's a commodity, right? It's still something I can use. You're either using cash or you're using shares. All right. So looking at Tesla. I sold it for $1,180, which is $1,100. Call it $1,200. And when this contract on Tesla deteriorates to $3, which is $300, which is basically a quarter, then I will buy my own contract back. I'll spend $300 out of what I got to even sell the damn thing. And I will close this contract and I will open another one after that. Same thing with Delta Airlines. I sold this contract for $217. That's right, Seal. I sold this contract for $217. I want to buy it back when it's around $60. Remember, everything's times 100. And this order just sits here. So I might be like out, right? Might be at the store or whatever, and then I'll get ping, and it says bought SMCI for $3. Or $30, whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, sweet, my contract just closed. Now it's realized profit. Now we'll see it here. This is when it shows up here. So right now it's showing, I started at 125, now I'm at 127. As soon as my open contracts that I just went through close, this number will go up. The only time this number changes, and you can kind of see like some available dollars, 119. You can kind of ignore this stuff. These two numbers here, 448. These numbers don't really mean anything. What it really means is this right here, 127. Now I might be using some of that to buy shares, but if you look at it this way, you spent $40,000 to buy the shares. You sold a couple more contracts, then you sold the shares for $45,000. So you'll still see this number be positive. And that will be your realized number at the end of the year will still be higher than you started. Guaranteed. 100% strategy. 100%. I know it sounds crazy and cliche, but it's 100% profit strategy. You cannot beat it. It's the closest thing to just walking into a bank and asking for free money. I mean, it basically is. This is free money. Yeah, is that a bold statement? Yes, but I have the data to back it up. I have the absolute data to prove that it's free money. And I'm not the only one that says it. And it's very low effort. Once you understand the concept, you open the trade, you walk away. You come back 2 weeks later, or you come back a week later, or whatever, and you're like, oh shoot, I made $600 off that contract. Let's do it again. It's extremely passive. Let your money work for you, right? Let your money make money while you're sleeping. That's what you want. Or while you're messing around with futures, trying to figure that crap out, you're making money here. So how do we decide. Well, what's a good strike price? How the hell do I pick a strike price? Pretty easy. Pretty easy. I'll show you. Stock market opens in 4 minutes. Here's Tesla on screen. How you pick a strike price? Open up at least 30 days worth of information. Right here I've got 90 days on 1 hour candles. If you have any futures experience, you know how to do this already. And what you want to look for is, with these companies, this is unlike, it's a little bit unlike gold and NQ. Gold and NQ are constantly up and down, up and down. You're just trying to catch it up and then catch it down, and then catch it up and then catch it down, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Companies over time just slowly creep their way up, for the most part, right? Some of them will like have big swings over a couple of months, but for the most part, they just slowly creep themselves up. That's why people buy stocks. People buy stocks when it's at $30 and then they sell it for $100, right? Because companies are getting more valuable as time goes on. So a good strike price. Well, looking at this chart, I can say right off the bat that this looks like a pretty major support level, which is $400 per stock, per share. I want the price to stay above 400. And then look, it's already up to 478. You want to get even closer? The closer you get to the current price, the more you'll make. The farther away, the less, but the more safe. There's a sweet spot. A sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. So let's look. Okay, here's another support level, right? What's this support level? Somewhere in here, 440. Let's pick 440, okay? Anything above 440 might be risky. Below 440 is safe, but I'll make less. So then let's go into, okay, remember 440. Let's see if we want to look for a contract. We want 30 days, 30 to 45 days. You see how they say weeklies? Weeklies are good, but monthlies pay more. So I always go for monthlies first. This is a monthly. This is a monthly, this is a weekly. Monthlies pay more. You can see I've already got positions on this. I actually need to change this one because it didn't fill, so we'll do that. This one says, yeah, this one didn't fill. Change your strikes to like 14 strikes. Remember I said 440? 440 is pretty safe, right? It's way up here. The black are opposites. The blue are opposites, right? They're opposites. We're only worrying about the black ones. The black ones are selling. The blue ones are buying. We want to sell. We do not want to buy. So worry about the black ones, and then we have puts. So I said 440. 440 is way up here. I could see it if I wanted to. 440 is extremely safe. All right. So instead, let's look at the delta. The delta, what I say, we want it between 25 and 30 delta. Right here. The closer you get, the more you'll make, but the more risky. If you want to get assigned, if you're like, I'm going to buy 100, I've said this on the last stream, if I want to buy 100 shares no matter what, then I'll just take that. I'll take that risk. So in this case, I'd probably choose 445 or 450. Right here's your delta between 25 and 30. This is $1,500. If I click this button, there's the bell, $1,500. Look how it dropped. See that? We were watching it, $1,500. That means the stock opened and then dropped, immediately dropped. So the value of that contract dropped $400 like that, instantly. Now, I'm not in that contract, right? But what I was going to sell for $1,500, now I'd have to sell it for $1,180. Sometimes, though, it does the opposite. Sometimes you put it in at $1,500, and when the stock market opens, like we just saw, it shoots up to like $3,000. And you, instead of making $1,200, you made $3,000. sometimes it'll do that. It'll spike up, which is what you want. And then you end up selling this contract for a ton of money. I did this once and I made like $1,100 in one day. Because I put my orders in before the stock exchange opened and it bounced super high. And I made a ton of cash right off the bat. Where's my contract here? All right. So let's continue. Let's let me do some math here. Figure out how much collateral I have left. I started with $125,000. I need to look at my collateral because we'll go through opening up a trade. All right. Okay. I'm going to cancel this one here. Okay. I canceled that order because I put it in last week and it never reached that price and it just didn't fill. So I'll just cancel it and try and open up a new one. All right, so I started with $125,000 in this account, $125,000. I put up collateral for Tesla at $42,000, so I'm going to subtract that, $42,500, right? That's collateral I have to hold back until this contract is closed, okay? Then I did SMCI for $3,100, so I'm going to subtract that. Okay, you got to keep track of your collateral. And then I did a Delta Airlines for 67.5, so I'll subtract another 6,700. I still have $72,000 of collateral. $72,000 worth of collateral to play with. All right, chat. I'm going to let you pick the stock. I want you guys to pick the stock. I know lurkers, you guys don't normally chat, but I'd love to have your opinion here. Let's pick a stock together. I want to go through and sell another contract. I want to do it here, and I want you guys to tell me what you want me to look at. And that way, if you're like, oh, I like this stock, I like that stock, I can show you why this is not a good one, or this is a good one, or whatever. So if you're still here, I'm sure I've got like 4 people left. If you're still here, let me know. Let me know in the chat. I think I lost a lot of people. NYSE open, so probably people are watching markets. Yeah. You're still here? Good, Algo. Yeah, I appreciate that. You're coding and recording. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Okay, I'm just throwing out a link or two in Discord. Pez is live. That's probably everybody's watching his stream, which is fine. It's okay. We'll be the ones who make the money. We'll make the real money. All right. Just give me a sec here. I'm just in the Discord trying to put a link out. Real quickie. All right, let's see here. Okay. All right. What's going on, Tim? Still here? Cool. Warden, stock ASML. To check that one out. How you doing, Warden? Good to see you. Good to see you. What you can do here too is you can create a wish list on the side here, or a watch list, and you can add positions. How the hell do I do it? There we go. What the hell? It won't let me set up the stupid. All right, sounds good, Tim. Good. I'm glad you're still here. Excellent. What? I can't. You can set up. Ugh. I know. I'm trying to add symbols. Freaking crap. I don't know. For now, we'll just do. There you go. All right. Futures I'll trade from January again. Yeah, definitely, Tim, definitely. Okay, so you guys can put in stocks over here, and then you can see the prices. Some of these are crap. I don't even know what half of this shit is. Why can't I change it? Ugh, piece of shit. Well, let me change it. I can change it on my other one. Whatever, right? Okay, you said ASML. I'm not sure what that is. Let's take a look. This one? Is this it? This is super expensive. Way more than we've got. Way more than we've got. This basically is... I would need $100,000 to trade this stock, which I could do in this account, but because I've already traded Tesla and stuff like that, I don't have that much. So we'll have to skip that one. All right, we'll do this. We'll look at, so we have, how much do I have left? 72,000 is what I said. Yeah, 72,000. Okay. We could do more Tesla. We could do United Airlines, Amazon. Let's look at Amazon. That's another good one. Yeah, let's look at Amazon. $225 per share means I'd need, yeah, maybe another Tesla. Yeah, 20. So times 100, which is be $22,500. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that. Okay, so 20. Okay, so what's a good premium to shoot for? Remember when I said you want 25 to 30% delta? Okay, well, what's a good premium? A good premium is going to be, you're going to do the math of 1/3. 1/3. So that if the strike price is at $150, your premium should be 50. 1/3. Or better. Half is even better. For example, if we look here at 200, 1/3 of 200 is, the hell's 20 divided by 3? Like 7, 6, 5? What the hell? Can't do math. 6. About 6.6, right? 65, yeah, right? Well, this one is at 85. Nice. That's a good choice. So that means I'm gonna put up 20 grand. Wait a minute. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Okay. That seems low. That seems really low. Let me look at UAL. Okay, so here, yes, we will. Yes, we will check the chart. All right. The 1/3 is good, but you can do better. All right, and in this case, right, we're just looking at Amazon. We would have to put 20,000 up to make about $85. Here, we can put up 1,000 or $97.50 to make $92. This one is better. This one is closer to 50%. 1/3 is still good, right? So it was correct, right? You put up you're putting up $20,000 and you're making like $800. And in this case, we put up $1,000, or we put up $10,000, and we're making 50%, right? So if I look at the chart here, I just had to make sure I had that correctly, because if you think you guys can get confused, sometimes I get confused too. Yeah, okay. So, what's a good strike price here? I'd say 104 is probably the safest. 102, 104, 106. Right? It came down a little bit, but now it's going back up. Good. We want it to go up. We wanted to get away from our strike price. So 106, I'd say between 102 and 106. And this is, remember, times 100, so it's going to be a $10,000 collateral. We'll just look at UAL for now. We might go back to Amazon. It's not as good. It's not as good, right? Because I can sell two of these contracts and make double what I could do on Amazon. All right, and that's what we'll do. All right, what did I say? Between 102 and 106, we're pretty close to our strike price here, or current stock price, and it's a safe number. This is why I love United Airlines. Yeah, because we're close to our price of getting assigned. We're close to our current price, which is at 112. But on the monthly, I would probably pick 105, because I said between 102 and 106. That means we're betting that it won't drop below 105. And on the chart, that's pretty far away. You want to go a little safer, you could go 100. The saying that the stock will stay above $100. That you're almost guaranteed to win that, right? 0.17 is our delta. This is how it's favored in the. We have 0.17% chance of losing this trade, right? We don't really lose the trade. That means I have 83% chance, right? Do the opposite, 83% chance of winning this trade. 83%. The sweet spot is 75%. So that would be like right here, 75%, right? If I select this trade right here, 75% chance that I will win in my favor. So we're going to do that. Now on Amazon, I'd have to put up $2,000, I'd have to put up $20,000 to make 85. No. I'd rather make 235. $85 versus $235. And I'm going to sell 2 of them. Shit, I could sell 3 or 4. But you want to spread yourself out a little bit, maybe not get locked into one ticker. But I have $70,000. Check this out. Let's do some math. I have $70,000 right now. Is there a calculator I can put on screen? Yes. Okay. Sick. I have $72,000 worth of leverage here that I would hold as collateral. Okay. So, in order to sell one of these contracts, we're going to go with 105. I'll just do it first on screen. 105 times 100. It's going to be over 10,000. This is how much collateral I need for one contract. 10,500. I could do 7 of these. 7 of these, right? Or probably maybe 6. We'll do 6. I can still do probably 7, right? Let's just say 7. Now let's look at the premium. $225 to do this is what I will keep. I'll keep $225. $225 times 7. If I click this button, right now I'll make an instant $1,500. Boom. If I sold 7 of these. That's pretty freaking insane, dude. And the chances of these contracts expiring within the next 2 weeks, or at least deteriorating significantly, is good. I have an 80% chance of that happening. Yeah, this is yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Crazy. On Amazon, I would make probably half of this. This is why I like United Airlines. They have really good premiums. Really good premiums. All right, so let's do 2. Okay, you click on this button. We're going to say the strike price is 105. We're going to sell 2 contracts. UAL 105. Yep. Now I want to change this to limit. I don't even have to do limit. I can do market. We'll just do market. If you want it to like hit a certain price, then you do limit. But I want to buy it. I want to sell them right now. I'm gonna sell 2 contracts. Click that button. Can't see there's a pop-up on screen. It doesn't show for whatever reason. I'm gonna click this button and instantly make $495. Yeah, the airlines should be fine. That's a good point, Max. Absolutely. I'm always selling the airlines. So I'm gonna click this button right now. I'm gonna have to put up $20,000 for collateral, but I'm gonna make $500 right now. Should see a confirmation. There's a confirmation. Sold 2 contracts. Now, before I do anything else, I want to do an opposite order. So I go to here. There's my 2 contracts. I just sold for 105 strike price, saying it won't go below 105. $252 times 2. Yeah. Okay. Was that right? Trade. Yeah. Oh, I made more than I thought. I did the math wrong. I sold those contracts for $250 each. So I made about $500 like that. Oh, I did my math wrong. I did my math wrong earlier. I looked at the wrong one. I said we could sell 7 contracts. Remember when I said we'd make 1,500? 7 contracts times 250. $250 per contract, $1,700. I make $1,700 if I sold 7. But I'm not gonna do that because I want to trade. I want to diversify a little bit, right? All right, so $252. We just put $500 in the account. Straight cash. Ours. Nobody else's. I keep it. Premium. I got paid to open this contract. Now, yeah, exactly, Tim. I would like to buy this contract back. I know I'm going to repeat myself a lot in this, but the only way you're going to learn this is if you constantly go through the same information over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So I am going to repeat myself a lot, but I'm doing it on purpose. All right, so now when this contract deteriorates by 75%, and what that looks like is, if I go back to the trade, theta. See this? It says theta on screen. Theta means time. That means that this contract is deteriorating by 8 cents every day. It's not very much, but it's enough to actually do some damage. Actually, it's $8. Sorry, it's times 100. $8. It's deteriorating by $8 every day. Not 8 cents, $8. Every day that this contract is open, the market deteriorates it by $8. So tomorrow it'll be worth $248. The day after that it'll be worth $240. The day after that it'll be worth $232. So see how this works? So that time is working in my favor. I want this contract to expire worthless. So the $250 that I just sold it for, I get to keep all of it. And I get to keep my cash, my collateral. Now, if you look in the top left-hand corner, you'll see I still have $125,000 because it's collateral. I haven't spent it. I haven't spent it to buy shares. It's pure collateral. Okay? All right, so what I want is I want an opposite order. 250, we'll just do the math on screen. $250 divided by 4. No. 250 divided by 4. 62. So when this contract, and remember it deteriorates $8 every day. When it gets down to $62, I want to buy it back. So I'm going to create an opposite order. Right here. And we're doing 2 of them. So I'm going to change this to 0.62. That's $62. I'm going to put it on a limit and make sure you change it to from day, where the hell is it? Day to good to canceled. That means until this order request will stay open until forever, until either the contract explodes into nothing or I actually buy it back. So I'm gonna buy it back at 62 cents. Don't forget this step. You can not do this, but you're probably gonna wait the whole 30 days to see realized profits. I'd rather see this happen. This might happen in a week. If this happens in a week, then I get all my collateral back. I keep all my premium except for $62, and I just rinse and repeat. Send it. Okay, and that's just gonna live there until that happens. Okay. Next, we just spent about $20,000 of our collateral. We didn't spend the money. We just had to set aside about $20,000 more. Exactly, Tim. Yeah, it's like a take profit SL at the same time. Yep. Check hotel chains. Yeah, Hilton, Marriott. And what I'm looking for, Max, is I'm looking for any companies in the top S&P 100, S&P 500 are the companies that I'm looking for. Some of the hotels don't do shares, and if they do, their premiums are probably not great. For whatever reason, Delta Airlines and United Airlines, the premiums are delicious, right? But Southwest sucks. JetBlue premiums suck, right? Frontier, Spirit, all those airlines, ugh. I don't know why, they're bad. The premiums suck. Their stocks are not that valuable or whatever. Like JetBlue, I think you can buy for $3 or something. It's ridiculous, right? Okay, so we've got about 50 grand left. We've got about 50 grand left for trading. Let's sell some more contracts. Let's look at some of the big boys. Let's look at Apple. Apple's at 200. Yeah, okay. Apple's at 250. This is how I do this quickly. Before I look at the charts, this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the premiums, right? I would have to hold $25,000, and again, about half, which would be 1.25. This is pretty good. Sounds good. No, it sounds good. Seal, this is why I got these, right? I bring the banana with me. No, but good to see you, man. I hope this will be on the record, so you can go back and watch it. Yeah, good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you very much. Okay, so Apple's not bad. Apple's extremely stable. Yeah, extremely. Sounds good, Seal. Extremely stable. Apple does not move very much. So if you wanted to trade Apple, you'd be all right. It's a good stock if you're just like, I would just want to play it safe. Just want to play it safe. Apple's fine. Apple is fine. Tesla's extremely volatile. Tesla's all over the place, right? Here, I'll show you. If you look at the charts, Apple takes 15 business days to do anything. Look, it pretty much stays in the same $20 bracket, right? It goes up, but it's very stable. Tesla, on the other hand, is like being on a trampoline. Up and down, all over the place. Up and down, all over the place, right? Look how much it moved there. It went from $314 all the way up to $480. Holy hell. Excuse me. Apple moves $20. Tesla moves $120. But the premiums are better. So let's try and find something in the middle. Let's look at Facebook, Meta. They're trading. It seems like that one moves a lot too. Wow, look how volatile that is. It was at 800, and now it's down to 580. Holy piss! Yeah, Walmart. Yeah, we'll look at Walmart. Walmart's also very stable stock. Walmart and Apple. Meta. We only have $50,000 of collateral left. This is trading around 660. Can't trade that one. Don't have enough collateral. That's fine. This is where we're in the big boy territory now, right? This is when you've got 50 grand just sitting in your pocket and you're like, I'm ready to make some cash, bro. Okay, let's look at Walmart. I say that because that's how Pez says Walmart. 115. This one typically I haven't traded Walmart in a while, and the last time I traded it, it was around $100 a stock. $100 a share. It's still at $100 a share. Walmart does not move much. So, the problem though is that their premiums are probably not very good. Yeah. You would have to hold... Yeah. You'd have to hold $10,000 to make $10. Yikes. Yeah, we'll look at Visa and Citibank, yeah. And you can also trade You can trade American, what the hell's the name of it? Bank of America, right? My brain is slowly dying. So $100, yeah, $10,000 to make $10, no good. Walmart right now, no good. Super stable. Coca-Cola's this way too. We'll look at Coca-Cola, which is KO. You would have to hold $6,500 to make $12. Not worth my time. Not worth my time. Some stocks, it's just not worth your time. But if you're like, I just have this, let's say you got a 50K or 100K or whatever, and you're like, I have like $6,000 just sitting around doing nothing. Well, okay, you could use the rest of it for something like this. No harm, no foul. You made $12, right? Bought yourself a burrito. or you bought yourself a cheap Bullinox account. There's the code right there. I'm kidding around. Okay. All right, so let's look at Visa. Oops. Visa's trading. Damn. Visa's looking pretty sick. Maybe we'll do a Visa. Let's do a Visa. I've never done Visa before. All right. So remember what I said, 1/3. So 330, 325, 325 divided by 3 is 108.3. MasterCard, yeah. So for 330, if it's above 108, then that's good. This one's at 184. That's good. That's really good. This one's even better. Let's look at the chart. Damn. That moves a lot. But it is the holiday season. People are going to be using their credit cards, right? Man, that moved a lot. This is where you kind of have to use some of your futures. Yeah, big jumps. Some of your future skills. How many times do we see it move like this? And then it comes back down. Right? We don't want to be selling contracts when it's on the downswing. We want it to keep going up. This could just be a temporary. So there's really no way to know. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? I don't know. Right? I don't know. We could try it. There's no... We'll still won't lose. It'll just take longer for it to realize, basically. Let's do it. I've never traded Visa before. Visa's been around for ages. It's a good... This is what you need to be asking yourself. Is it a good company? Is it a good stock? Is this stock going to go to shit in the next 30 days? Right? I don't think Visa's going out of business. A little bit risky. Yeah. So then our 325 is really like our safe spot. FEGs, yeah. Yeah, there's a huge gap here. Yeah, it could be ample. 325 would be our safe spot, right? Right, for our support. Well, let's look at 325. Still fine. Still all right. Even if it closes all that room, which the chances of it doing are, I mean, who knows? We'll still be okay. Our delta's at 0.14. That's 85% in our favor of winning. If we want to bump it up to a delta of around 25 to 30, this is really good, man. This is really good. Remember what I said, 1/3? 340? This is higher. This is higher. This is 395. The premiums right now are super inflated for whatever reason. This number here should be like $1.84 times 100, $184. But I can hold $34,000 worth of collateral to make $400. Holy shit. That is really good. I'm taking that. That's a really damn good sell. Now, 340 on the chart. Stupid mouse. 340 on the chart is right there. It could come back down. There is a little bit of a risk here. But if I get assigned, I'm just going to rotate. And I'm actually going to take this one because I kind of want to get assigned at some point and show you guys that part of the process. So we're going to take this one. It's not the end of the world if I get assigned. We're going to take this trade. This is really good. 395. Sell 1. Market. Put. Make sure you're selling, not buying. Red. And then I want this to be good till... Actually, it has to be day. I can't do good till canceled. There's even a mid here. Let me look at the mid. Limit. Let's come up a little bit. Let's come up. Let's get a little greedy. Let's do 415. I almost guarantee that's going to sell. This is the price. Between 430 and 395, it's constantly. Is it really? Oh, thanks, Pez. You're like the only person that said anything. Let me change it. Oh. Yeah, I don't... I'm just going to turn the music off on TikTok because I can't fix it. Piece of shit. All right. Thanks for that, Pez. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Whatever. I don't know. I can't. It won't let me turn it down. All right. So anyways, why not good till canceled? You'll do good till canceled on a limit order. You'll do day on a market order. So let's do, this one's around $4 now. I'm just going to sell it for a market. I want to sell it at like... Actually, let me do limit. Sorry. Let me do limit. We'll do $4. Look, it's gone up a little bit. Pick a number between these two. This is a buy, sell, buy, sell. Gets awesome. Sounds good, Alco. I'm glad you're still here. 415. Let's try 415. One contract, sell, limit, day. No, I want good till canceled. Good till canceled. Where is it? Good till canceled. Send it. Let's see if it fills. At $4.15, which is actually $415. You see it popped up there. Boom, done, filled. Made more than 400. I made 415. I clicked a button and I made $415 instantly. And all I have to do is put up $34,000 collateral. Does that seem like a high number? Yeah. But if you got it, you make $400, you wait a couple weeks, you close it, you do it again. And then you have $800, and then you have $1,200, and then by the end of the year, you've made $5,000. And this is just one contract. This is a good one. Whoever called out Visa, it's a good one. Okay, next thing to do is filled orders. Visa, opposite order. Create opposite order. We sold it for $415. We want to buy it back when it's deteriorated 75%. So 415 divided by 4 is about $100, which is called 100. So we're just going to put this at 1.0. Limit. Piece of shit mouse. Good till canceled. No, you guys can't see that. Good till canceled. Limit. Good till canceled. Only when it fills you make a counter order. Correct. Correct. Tim. Correct. Okay. Now I'm going to put that one out there. And you'll see these start to stack. That was a really to be honest with you, I would normally sell a couple of those. That is awesome. $340. Sorry, 40, and it's collecting holy crap, 400. I just made $400 like instantly. Normally on a contract like that, I'd make about $150. That's an insane premium. Insane. So good. So damn, it's one of the best ones I've seen. The last time I did this, it was on freaking Starbucks. I sold a Starbucks contract for like this. It was like, oh, I only have to put up like $10,000 and I made like 400. It was insane, right? Remember, it's 1/3. So 340 divided by 3. 340 divided by 3. This should be about 113. See here on the calculator, 113. This should be 113. It's not. Maybe we're about to go into earnings and maybe I'm about to get cooked. I don't know. No, I won't get cooked. It'll be all right. Either way, I've got there's no way to lose. It's an impossible. The only way to lose is if the company goes out of business. Seriously. Yeah. Okay. So, not a bad one. So I just put up another 34. So we're just slowly taking down our collateral. We're around 50,000. We just put up another collateral of 34,000. So about 16 left. 16 left. We've got stocks. We've got a contract in Visa, UAL, DAL, Tesla, and SMCI. 16 left. Let's look at Intel. Not Intel, NVIDIA. No, we might be able to do NVIDIA. Maybe. I wish this showed me my current collateral. It's kind of annoying. It doesn't show me the paper trading. PayPal. We'll look at PayPal too. The current the paper trading can be a little glitchy. Normally I'm able to see how much collateral I have left. I'm just having to do the math. So I've got about, so we'll do this. Let's say, what do I have open? We did SMCI. Let's look at, you said PayPal. We'll look at PayPal. PayPal, pretty stable as well. PayPal can be a little, I currently have PayPal on my real account and it's floating around 60. We'd have to hold about $5,000 of collateral, which is fine, right? Most people here are probably going to have maybe 3,000 to 5,000, I'm assuming. Looking at the charts, PayPal has been dropping for some stupid reason. And so I've been a little hesitant to trade it because it just keeps going down. And that sucks. So I'm kind of off of PayPal right now until it recovers. It's dropped a lot. I'm waiting for it to turn around. They had earnings here that bounced and they came back down. AMD, oh bro, AMD is such a good one. Let's see where AMD is at. I think AMD is way off the charts for what I have left. I traded AMD when it was around 16,000, and now I think it's up to like 240, which is 24,000, which is freaking huge. But AMD is a really good, if you guys are going to buy stock, AMD is a good one because they've partnered with OpenAI, ChatGPT, and their money is flowing through that company right now. It was a high of 267, so it's at 200. So I would need about 20 grand to trade it right now. And right now I'm at 16. Let me look at the I do like AMD. I do want to trade it. I'd have to come way down. I'd have to come way down here around 16. And then it's just too far away, right? It's too far away. The chances of me winning that trade are almost 100%, but the premiums are going to be pretty low. So you're going to have to put up a lot of collateral for a very small premium. If you wanted to always just make money, you could put up a ton of collateral and take a small premium and win every time. But, you know, it's a very slow crawl. We want to find that sweet spot. That sweet spot is right here, right around 25 to 30 delta. Adobe, Verizon. I don't know if Adobe... I know Verizon has holdings, but I don't know if Adobe does. Nah. $18. That's really low. Really low. Let's look at... Like I said, you want to be looking at stuff in the S&P 500. What stock is currently around $160 per share? Did I sell Delta yet? We might do some. I did sell Delta. Almost want to do, yeah, IBM. Learning here. Yeah, sounds good. Biblical. Welcome in. Appreciate you. Yeah. I'm thinking, let me look at IBM. 296, too high. I might go back to Visa, man. That was one of the best contracts I've seen. Oh, I can't. It's still too high. I have half that. I have 16. So I'm looking for a stock around $160. That's what I'm looking at. Chevron. I don't even know. There you go. 150. I've never traded Chevron. The premiums are terrible. I have to put up $13,000 to make $25. Yeah, that's too low. Good company, but the premiums are bad. City. This is good. I'm glad we're going through this. This is how you're finding your... How am I going to make the most amount of money? This is how you do it. Is it a Citibank? Is this it? Sometimes these companies don't have tradable shares. Oh my God. Citibank. How about Bank of America? Not great either. I have to put up $5,000 to make $27. Too low. I want to be making around 130. I don't think that one works. Merck & Co. Nike. Yeah, let's look at Nike. Nike's another good one. 66. Yeah, it's a good one. Let's do Nike. Let's look at the chart. Looks like it's been trending down. Might be coming back up. So where's a safe spot for our stop loss? Or stop loss, wow. My brain's in the wrong spot. For our strike price. 66 might be a level that is creating right now. The next probably safe level I'd say is 63. Let's look around 62 to 63. Yep. This is how you know you picked the correct level. Look at the delta, 28. Between 25 and 30. That's when you know you've picked the correct support level. So this is a good one. So 62.5. We'll sell this one. We'll make $156. Yep, on Nike. We'll sell one contract. Okay. We'll put it in as a limit. Now we could pretty much basically do a market because there's not much. This is called a spread. It's a $3 spread here. Might as well just put it in as a market. Let's just sell it as is. If the spread is like 20 or 30 or $50, then you're gonna want to like, ooh, I want to get as close to the higher end as possible. Market, and market has to be day, right? So we're gonna make $150 by clicking this button. Waiting for the pop-up. Done. More money in the bank. All right. We've got now probably around, oh, I got it. Before I do that, we just sold Nike, opposite order. Don't forget this part. Opposite order. We sold it for 163 divided by 4, $40. So we'll put this one down to $40. Limit, good to canceled. Thank you. Send it. All right, now that one's gonna live there. So we have about $10,000 worth of collateral left. Close to 10,000. So let's look at, which one did I say always stays around 100? Walmart? Yeah, but their premiums shit. Let's do maybe another United. Yeah, we'll do another United. We'll finish with one more contract. We'll finish with United. Look at the charts. United is going up. I'd say we're pretty safe around 105. Yeah, I'd say 105 is pretty safe. Looks like there's a nice level here. You could even go down to 90. Between 90 and 105, probably a safe place for a strike price. And we want it to stay above that price. What did I say? 105 to 90. Yeah, I already did a position here. We could do another one. You know what? We'll take a safer bet. We already did this one. Let's take a safer bet. We'll say 100. 0.16. That's 83%, 84% chance we're going to win this trade. We're going to be correct on this trade. So we'll take this one. It's $100 less though. You see that? We're going to make $100 less. But it's going to be a little safer. Okay, we'll show you. We'll go through it. Is it better to take safer ones with a little bit more risk? 0.25 is pretty good. We'll take a safer bet here. We'll sell it for $1.20, right? Or we'll do about like $1. We'll do $1.30. First things first. Don't do 10. Do 1. I don't know why it's automatically set to 10, but it's really annoying. Limit. And good till canceled. Okay. Let's send this one. Do you see it there? Right there. It says sell. See if it fills. Should fill. If it doesn't fill, I'll show you what we do next. If it doesn't fill, what we'll do is we'll click cancel replace order. See that? And we'll just replace it with a better price. We'll just replace it with a better price. So it's not filling, right? So $1.30. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to do a market, which basically will fill it right now, no matter what it is. It didn't fill with that price. We're probably asking too much. Nobody wants to take that contract. Nobody wants to buy that contract. So we'll just put it out as a market, which will put it out at its current price. This will cancel that last order and replace it with this one. Oh, shit. Oops. It filled. It filled while I was trying to... Yeah, I know. It filled right before I clicked the button. Okay, it filled. Fine. Great. Sweet. UAL filled at 130. Okay. Create opposite order. One contract. What's 130 divided by 4? Or 131 divided by 4? $32. Order filled. That's right. That's right, Max. Order filled. Okay, limit, and I want it to be good till canceled. I want this contract to, this order to stay open for a long time. Okay, we have used up all $125,000 worth of collateral. $125,000 of collateral. How much money did we make today? Or let's, how much money did we make in the last week? How much premium did I collect today on 125 grand? Let's find out. These are all the orders that we did today, plus the ones that are open. We got a lot of stuff going on here, right? All right, let's do the math. Let us do the math. Here's the prices that we sold everything for right here. All right. $131 plus $163 plus $435 plus $252 times 2. We put $1,200 at our bank account today in just premiums. All that clicking and shit that I did made $1,200. Like that. Now, $1,200 in the account, and I'm going to probably use some of it to buy back my contracts here. Add that $1,200 to what we already have open. We had Tesla open, which we made $1,180. We had Delta Airlines open with another $217. And we had SMCI for another $120. So, we have put $2,700 of collateral in the account. Passive income. And we're going to use some of that within the next week or two to close out all those contracts. Rinse and repeat. This will probably happen within probably within 2 weeks, okay? Give or take. We'll probably get assigned some stock. We'll probably, some of the ones might take longer to close, and we'll look at those when they happen. But if all goes well, best case scenario, all the contracts expire worthless in our favor, and we keep all that $2,700 in 2 weeks. Then we do it again, and we collect another $2,700. And in 1 month, we'll make $5,000 off about $125K. If we were able to do that every single month, we'd have 50 to 60 grand at the end of the year. That is a full-time, in the United States, that is a full-time income. That's shoveling freaking dirt and freaking doing electrical or serving hamburgers at Macca's. Basically, I just created a yearly income. Is it going to take all year? Yeah, but I just sat in front of my computer and clicked the buttons. This is one thing. You're also trading futures. You're also doing this. You're doing that. Plus, you could have a full-time job. This is an extra 50 grand a year right here. Just free money. Yeah, exactly. It's a 125K account. Exactly, Tim. Right now, I don't even have this much, right? But I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to the point where the compounding is going to work in my favor. To where when I get this account, when I get my personal account to like 100 to 125, technically I could quit my job. Because I'm able to make about 50 grand per year in the stock market. Free money. Just on premiums. And that's not even counting that if I were to get the shares and then turn around and sell them for a higher price, I would make that money too. So that's why I average it around probably 50. I would say around 50. So if we do the math back down, 125. Let's see. You think the math I'm trying to do. 500 mil when you're 70. That's right. That's right, Tim. You mentioned also selling covered call. Is it making the opposite order after selling? Yeah. Yeah, so you'll sell the contract, right? You'll sell the cash secured put. 30 days will go by. The stock dropped below your strike price. We want it to stay above. Below your strike price. It's called in the money. But that's an advanced concept. Whatever. You get assigned 100 shares. You bought 100 shares for whatever your strike price was. And then you turn around and you sell a covered call. And that covered call pays you a premium to now put your shares up for collateral. You sell that covered call, which we can't do yet because we don't have any shares in this account. We just have cash. If we get assigned on some of these contracts that we just did, we'll do covered calls. But the same idea. You sell a covered call, and after it fills, you then go and create the opposite order. Unless you want to dump the shares, right? If you're like, you know what? I don't want to, see how we've got all this green? I don't want to close the contract. I want to dump the shares. Then don't open an opposite order. You'll have to wait. And when the stock price comes back up, it will sell off your shares. Otherwise, while you're waiting, you can still buy back your own contracts and keep rotating your shares as collateral. Do you own AMD shares? Would you want to at 200 per share? My analysis on AMD is I did this process here for AMD, and I put in a strike price of $170, and the stock price dropped to about 156, and it stayed there. Actually, let me look at, I'll show you AMD exactly. Show you exactly what happened. AMD went off the charts. I need more than 90 days. Okay, right here. So in here, whoa, Nikes. I sold contracts right in here at 170. I was looking at it right here and I was like, okay, I think 170 is, it was up here, of course, right? It was up here and I was looking at it, I'm like, all right, I think 170 is a pretty good level, right? I was looking here. It's possible it could dip back down, but I think 170 is a pretty good level. So I went ahead and sold a cash secured put for 170. Then, because it was at 185, then it dropped all the way freaking down to 150. It fell hard. And guess what? My contract was sitting at 170. It fell below 170 and I got assigned 100 shares right here, which means that I purchased 100 shares at $170. It cost me $17,000 when it was only worth $15,000. Okay? Okay, cool. All right, I got some time. That's fine. So then what I did is I said, all right, I'm going to open a covered call for $170. And that says that the stock will now stay below 170. All right, we're going to be down here. Fine. I'm going to make some money off of it. And I did. I sold it. It never crossed $170, not in this time period. The contract expired. I opened another one at $170. And then it continued. Now, every time I collected a premium, it actually lowers my entry. If I spend $170, it's like, think of it like a discount in a way. I spent $170, but I collected $500 premium, which is actually $5. It reduces my entry by $5. So I spent $170. Now I actually spent $165 because the front premium, it lowers your entry. You do this long enough, and we'll get into this on the covered call side. You do this long enough, you're gonna surpass your entry. I got in at 170, but I've collected $500 3 times. That's 15. So do 170 minus 15. Now we're at 155. Now my actual entry is at 155. And that is because of the premium. Yeah, I'm still on. I know. You're the one. I'm the crazy one. I'm still talking about this, right? It's right, crazy. And so, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, there's a lot here. There's a lot here, crazy. It'll be on the channel. You can check it out. And so, basically, now at $155, I would break even. But I'm still selling my covered call at 170, which means that if the price goes above 155, which is now my break even, I'm going to make an extra $15 per share. Now, do you want to break even? I don't, right? I don't. I would like to always make money. So I could drop my new covered call to 155, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to break even. I don't want to spend the last 2 months of selling covered calls just to break even. But at least it's safe. I'd rather break even than nothing. So instead, this is what I'm doing on my real accounts. Instead, I sold another covered call at 170, which is my entry point. So that way, if it hits 170 or above, it will sell the contracts at 170. My break even is at 155, and I make an extra $15 per share. That's $150. What happened with AMD? Holy freaking shit. Boy, was I in for a surprise. Holy freaking shit. Look what it did. Look what it did. It freaking rocketed. Holy crap. Little old me sitting down here with 100 shares at $170. And this monkey completely rocketed through my price in like 1 day, dude. I don't even think it shows up on the chart. It jumps so high, so fast. I was sitting here and it said, see ya. So what ended up happening? All right, well, sometimes this happens. Sometimes the market explodes and you get stuck left behind. Didn't lose, but I missed a ton of upside. Now, if I had bought the stocks, and I bought 100 shares and did not open up a new contract, then what I could have done is I could have sold the shares for $240 or whatever the hell it was at. $260, $267. I bought it for $170. Sell them for $267. I would have made 10 grand in one shot like that. However, that did not happen because I had a contract open. A contract that said I'm obligated to sell the shares at 170. So that's what happened. That's what happened. I ended up getting my shares called away at 170 when it was worth 267. Some mofo got an insane deal. Some mofo got my 100 shares for $170 each when they're currently worth 270. Yeah, that sucks. Great for him. So I miss out on upside. But it doesn't matter because this doesn't happen very often. This is rare. This is like winning the lottery. Over the next 10 years, I will surpass the guy that got my shares for $167, $170. I will surpass that. He made basically 10 grand in 1 day. I will surpass that in like a year or two, which is fine, whatever. I'm in the long game. I'm in the long game. And that's how that is. That's what happens with their covered calls. So I kind of hope that you guys get to see that here on stream. That should hopefully happen at some point, right? At some point that should happen with the contracts where I get assigned. And that's all right. That's all right. Okay. All right, that's about everything. Anybody have any questions you want to go through real quick? That's about everything for now. Well, now we're just playing a game. We're just waiting. We're waiting to see these contracts realize. Look, we're already at 128,000. Just sitting here. Already made money. Already made money. Just sitting here. Right there, 128. 128,300. Now, this number though is a little bit not accurate because it's looking at the contracts, and as the market moves, it'll add to it, it'll take away, whatever. So if you see these negative numbers here, they don't mean anything. They don't mean anything at all because the contracts are unrealized. They're unrealized. They're not closed out yet. What's going on, Basic? They're not closed, so you can ignore these numbers. Yeah, there is a lot. I know, that's right, Max. Yeah. You know, honestly, Tim, you won't regret it. If you don't mind me asking, about how much do you think you'll start with? Around 5K, 10K? Because it's going to be a slow start. But if you can make $50, go for it. If you can make $100, go for it. Then you can buy a futures account with that money. Now, if you do that, you're not going to grow that account, right? Because you're going to be pulling that money out, and you really want to keep adding to it. You want this account to grow. You want it to continue to grow. But I mean, you don't have to answer that. But if you're like around 5,000 or so to 10,000, you should be all right. This account is a 125. I wish I could put it at 10K, but I can't. 3 to 5? Okay, yeah, absolutely, Tim. I would say for around 3 to 5, you should be looking to trade. I would trade SMCI because I have a feeling they're going to be going up soon. SMCI should be going up soon. And yeah, you wish you could do 20K. Well, you know what? Give us some time. Give us some time and it will go up. Yeah, we're at 100. This account started at 125. I've already made $3,300. This account, this fake account I opened up, yeah, it's paper trading. This fake account I opened up a week ago at 125. It's already at 3,000. I've done basically nothing. I've just opened some contracts and it's growing by itself. I think I'm going to keep this thing going. We're going to do this probably every week. And that way you can see how much money can I make with 125,000 and just watch this thing grow. It's going to grow. It's going to be fun. It's going to be insane. I'm doing the same thing on my real accounts and my IRA. So I'm pretty much mimicking what I'm doing here. We've already made $1,000 today. Look at that. Yep. Yeah. To be honest with you, Basic, this is what I want to do. I want to do this every day and this stream every day because I love this. I could sit here for hours. I could sit here for hours talking to you guys about this stuff. But unfortunately, I have a real job. I mean, maybe it's not unfortunate, but I'd love to be able to pull $5,000 to $6,000 out of the market every single month. With this account right here, I'll be able to do that. Yeah, absolutely. This account we're looking at right now should grow pretty quick. Yep. Yeah, I'll start over, Crazy. All right, you guys, welcome to the stream. We're going to do options today. No, I'm kidding. I don't have the brain power for that. Good thing I have it recorded and it'll drop for you guys to watch. Let's see. What's going on, Nathan? Nathan in the TikTok. What is happening, my friend? Yes, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you. We're just talking about options, how to make some serious money. Free money. Yeah, it is stocks, but it's selling contracts on stocks. It's basically stocks. You have guy A, I've said this earlier, guy A is buying and selling normal stocks. Tesla, whatever. Guy B is selling contracts on those stocks, collecting premiums, and then if he ends up buying those stocks, he sells them for higher plus the premium. You're getting paid to open up a contract. You're getting paid extra money. There's people in the market who want to buy your contract and will pay you $2,000 so they can have the chance to get the stock at a lower price than it's actually worth. But we sell the contract that gives us 80% chance of winning. So they're paying you $2,000 for a 20% chance to beat you in the market to end up getting those stocks for a better price than they're actually worth. Because I set the rules at 80%, they are probably going to lose. I'm basically the house, man. Yeah, I appreciate your time. Very valuable information. I'm sure you'll grow the channel. Oh, man, that'd be good. Yeah, I would like to be full-time. I would, because I love this stuff. And then I can do my other stuff. Like I love aviation, but I want to do aviation as a hobby. I don't want to do it for work. Unless I have to, but whatever. This strategy here, I'll be a millionaire in 10 years if I keep up at it. And you guys will be too. If you're following along with me, 10 years to be a millionaire. Most people are like, oh, that's too long. Come on, bro. You got 8 of those. You know, wondering how many people even know about this stuff. I don't think very many, Tim. The guys that are making a lot of money in the stocks, they're doing this stuff. They're not buying a stock and sitting on it for 4 months. You know, they're doing this stuff right here. They are turning. They're constantly churning their money. Yeah, I know, right, Tim? It is crazy. Yeah, it almost feels too good to be true. And I started doing this 6 months ago. 6 months ago. So I was like, before I tell anybody about this, and it's not my strategy, it's called the wheel strategy. You can Google it. You can probably find it on Wikipedia. I want to make sure it's 100% legit before I start telling other people about it. So I did. And I've made, in my retirement account, I've made about $5,000 or $6,000 just this year, since April. I said, okay, I think that's good. I feel like I'm not an imposter. I can actually speak as an authority on it. Yeah, that's how the bastards are getting rich. Yeah. You know what? There's a saying, poor people spend their money and rich people invest it. Something like that. I'm making my money work for me. I want my money to work for me. I want my money to work while I sleep. And this is it. This is passive income. This is how you do it right here. But yeah. And like I said earlier, there are guys out there selling courses on this shit. There's guys out there selling mentorships. I will never do that. Never, ever do that. Maybe it's a missed opportunity, right? I feel like it's just better to not hold back or put a paywall on this information. I'll make my money off the market, not off the people who watch the stream. If the people watching the stream want to donate and support the channel, great. Yeah, great. I'll never ask for it. I know Stream Elements asked for it earlier, but whatever, right? That's an automatic thing. I'm not going to ask the viewer. I want to teach you how to make money. Yeah, I will sleep well, exactly. And also I'm free, right? I don't have the responsibility like, oh man, I have to make sure and deliver for these people. They paid me, you know, that kind of crap. So I tried in the aviation side, I tried the mentorship thing. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And I started creating a course. The more I put into the course, the more I just felt like I need to give this information away. This needs to be free. Now, some people will say, well, if it's free, then there's no value in it. Maybe. Okay. So then I'll look at it like, take it or leave it. This is how I'm doing it, and I'm killing it. I'm crushing it. I've grown my personal account and my IRA account a freaking lot, like 50% already. So take it or leave it, right? I'm going to make money out of the market, not off the people watching. To me, that's just not, I don't feel good about it. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. To sell a mentorship or to sell a course. I'd rather just, here it is, take it or leave it. Trust me, you'll kick ass if you take it. It's the best I can do. To be fair, if you do one-on-one mentorships, you should ask for money. This is your time. Yeah, you're right, Tim. You're right. And that's a successful business model, doing one-to-ones. And if I ever get to the point where I like have to do a one-to-one, or if I were to manage somebody's account, if they're like, hey, listen, I trust you. Can you do this shit for me? Because I don't understand it. If I ever decide to do that, which there are real people in this world, and their entire job is just to manage people's retirement accounts. That's a real job. If I ever decided to do that, then I would be like, okay, maybe I would charge for that. Maybe I'd charge a percentage or something, because it is, you know, your time and all that. But I also look at it this way. I'm not a greedy person. If I make this money out of the market, and eventually YouTube and TikTok pay me for views, I'm good. I'm good, bro. I appreciate that, Algo. Yeah, I appreciate that, Max. And I'm being 100% sincere. And if you didn't believe me, not saying you don't, but if you don't believe me, go to my YouTube channel, my aviation YouTube channel, and I talk about this over there in aviation. I talked about it a couple of years ago. So I'm still the same person. To me, this is a cheat code in the Matrix, man. Why should I hold this information back? It's too good. It's just too good. I also have my faith, and it's like when people sell the Bible, I get a little irritated by that. You're selling the best book in the world when it's supposed to be free. So I'm just gonna copy that kind of mentality, you know, make the money out of the markets. Yep, absolutely biblical, right? Can you imagine? Go back to the biblical. You probably know this. Go back to the Martin Luther days when the language was confusing, right? The church had it in a very confusing language, and Martin Luther said, "No, forget that." Right? And he translated the entire Bible into German, and then he posted the 97 rules, I think it was, on the church's door and said, "You're not getting away with this anymore." And guess what? Everybody in town can read the Bible now, and they can see that you guys are just putting a paywall. Back then, if you wanted, I'm getting off on a rant. Back then, if you wanted to go to heaven, you had to pay for it. I'm not kidding. You had to go up to the church, put a coin in the pot so that you could be absolved for your sins and you could go to heaven. And Martin Luther was like, "No, that is not how it works." And it's clear in the Bible. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it available for everybody. And then people can decide for themselves. People might do this and be like, "Yeah, it's just too complicated. It's not for me." That's perfectly cool. Perfectly fine. No big deal. But it's there. It's available. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep, never a rant. That's right, biblical. That's right. And my faith also tells me that this is the right thing to do. You know, this is just the right thing to do. There's so much greed in this world, man. And in the markets, there's greed and there's fear. So, is it right? Is it wrong that I'm benefiting financially off that greed and fear? I don't know. Got to make your money somehow, right? This money is already in the market. It's already there. People have already spent it, whatever. So we're just like with futures, we're taking a little bit at a time. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and sound mind. Exactly. Yeah. Can you imagine if Jesus was standing on the hill and he had the 5,000, he had the bread and the fish, and he told the boy to go gather that, come back. Imagine if he got his little $4.99. Here's your bread. $4.99. Here's your fish. $4.99. Right, to every single person. And he's literally pulling it out of thin air and then charging people for it. Come on. So I always think about that story. If this is my bread and fish, then excellent. I'm doing something right. I'm doing something right. And I'll continue to do that. Not everybody's going to understand it. Not everybody's going to want to do it. Yeah, he would have made mad shekels. That's so good. He would have made mad coin. That's funny. There's even a scripture about a market. He goes into a market, then they're selling stuff in God's house, and oh, my lights are turning off. That's telling me I'm streaming too long. He goes into the market and he flips the tables. Said, "This is a house of prayer. This is not the stock exchange." Stand by when my lights turned off. That means I've been on stream for like 3 hours. Oh, nice. Yeah, I am also a single engine pilot. Are you going to turn on? What's going on? Hello? I'm pressing the button. Where are you at? Let there be light. Yes. Okay. All right. I think I might be done. This about a 3 hour, it's a 3 hour stream. So My guy, Pez, has returned. You're not sleeping yet, Pez? What's up? What's up, dude? How was your stream? How'd it go? I missed the entire thing because I was so focused on this. We're at 128. We're at $128,000. That's what you missed. Booyah. Booyah. No trades. I guess I didn't miss anything. Yeah. Pez was reliable. That's right. Yeah, we're at a 128 for now. We opened up all these contracts, and they're gonna automatically start doing their thing. It's hands off at this point. I've set it up to be hands off. I don't have to sit here and watch it. Let me just tell you, the stress that futures causes, like I'm taking a break from futures right now. It's really nice. Futures is so stressful, dude. This is not stressful. This is relaxing. Yeah, absolutely, Tim. I appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Another thing, you guys are here every single day. The least I can do is continue to show up and continue to provide value. Pez has slept in 100 times. Congrats, Pez. You got the 100th. Yeah, you got 100, bro. It's honorable that you got the 100. There's also an exclamation Seth, and I'm waiting for you to do it in your stream. So until you do it, I did one in my stream. But anyways, I want to provide value. I am not, like I said, I'm not a greedy person. I want to provide value. And then if you guys are interested in liking it, I'll say, hey, if you got something out of this, then like it. I will never say, just like the dang thing. Just subscribe. Well, you have no reason to subscribe. You have no reason to like it. I haven't given you any reason to like it. It's like if you walk into a restaurant and they're like, hey, we want a review on our, I don't know, our Italian panini. I'm like, well, I haven't even ordered yet. No, but we need a review. I haven't even ordered yet. I don't even know what it tastes like. You want me to give you a review? What? Let me sit down. Let me order. Maybe the food's good. Oh, I like this. I'll take a picture of it. I'll put it on Google. And then I'll give you a review. So, I feel like too many streamers have it backwards. They want the sub. They want the like. They want the view. Well, you got to provide something first, son. And then you can ask for the likes. You're like, hey, if you like this content, appreciate a like or a sub or whatever. And then eventually it's going to get to the point where we actually have we're going to have a lot of people in here. And we're going to I'm going to turn on monetization. Cuz you just kind of have to. It's hard to, I know Dan doesn't do it, but he doesn't need to. But when you're kind of starting out and you're kind of slow or whatever, once you hit monetization, it's a good idea to turn it on. And there's going to be super chats and there's going to be small donations and whatever. All that's just going to go right back into supporting the channel, right? To be honest with you, it might allow me to go full-time here quicker. And that would be ideal. I'd like to retire. I would like to retire not at 65. I'd like to retire at 40. If I could retire at 40, we'd be in business, son. And then I'll sit here and do this for the rest of my life. Yeah, absolutely, Tim. Absolutely. Cool. That's the goal. Provide the value. The people will show up. The money will show. The trades will happen. And we'll be good. And I'm always going to appreciate the OG crew that was here. Pez and Tim and Shibby. A couple new people. Max, I'm seeing you in today, which is good. Algo. The OG crew. At the top of the chat is the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, it's an option-specific Discord. So I've got content about what we did today. It's kind of a shorter piece. And then, of course, you can watch this here. It's option-specific. And if you guys, some of you guys, OG guys, join, you'll be part of the OG crew. And then once there's a bunch of people in there, I need to post it in the TikTok as well. They'll all be gray, and you guys will actually have a color. Maybe that's dumb, but I like the idea of showing love and appreciation to the guys that were here first. I don't know why. I have such a hard time with this Discord link. There it is. In TikTok, if you want to join the Discord for options, there it is. I should have done that like an hour and a half ago. Okay. Awesome. You live in a small town? Yeah. And I grew up in a small town. I love that song. Pez, you still here? Can you poison NP Discord as YouTube tags and it won't work directly? I'm not quite sure. I think I know what you're saying, Biblical. I'm not. Tags it won't work directly from YouTube. I'm a little confused. Post in Pez Discord. I see. You know what? If you're okay, I see. If you're in there, I will directly invite you. I may have already done that. Let me check real quick. Biblical, where are you at? Do me a favor, Biblical. Post something in his Discord. Just say hi or something so I can find you. He's got a lot of people in there. There he is. Okay, gotcha. All right, let me send you a quick invitation. Okay, sent. All right. Pez might have fallen asleep. Pez, if you're still here, if you're wondering all the crap that I was putting in your chat last night, you were talking about living in a small town, and there's a very famous song called Small Town by John Mellencamp. So I was literally just posting the lyrics of his song in your chat. So you don't have to be confused anymore. And everybody in the chat knew exactly what it was except for you. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. That's the ironic part. You're from a small town, right? May not have heard that song. Everybody else who's not from a small town knew that song. And that's the ironic part. It's so funny. Okay, all right. I think I'm done. 3 hours. I could stream for longer. I really could, but I gotta get ready for work, and maybe say hi to the kids and stuff. So awesome, you guys. I know there was about 5 to 10 of you just sticking around the whole time. I really appreciate every single one of you. I hope I was able to give you some value today, and we're gonna do this once a week. We're gonna check on these contracts probably next Friday. I'm gonna keep streaming through the rest of December. I don't care. I want to grow, so I'm not gonna shut it down. If we have a horrible day on futures, I might jump back in here. We'll see, or we'll do a session where we just do Q&A. You know, you'd be like, hey man, I checked it out, I don't understand this, can you explain it more? Absolutely. I want you guys to succeed. I want you guys to crush it. Sweet. Awesome. Yep, you bet, Max. My pleasure. Algo, same to you. Maybe ask YouTube algorithm, your buddy, to put my stream out. Mega stream. That's right, Tim. That mega stream. Yeah. Heck yeah. Now I just need an editor to cut out like little clips because there's a lot. Yeah, sounds good. Awesome, guys. Yeah, put in a good word for me with the other algorithm. Since you're the CEO. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Biblical. I'll be back on tomorrow. We'll do another one. Dude, that'd be sick. I just crossed 14,000 views. I've had this YouTube channel for a month. It's because I've spent a lot of time on YouTube on my other channel. If you guys want to check that out, just for fun, here's the link. If you want to see the crazy stuff I've done in an airplane, go check that out. All right, cool. I'm going to sign off. Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for regular futures. It's probably going to be garbage, but we're going to show up at 8 o'clock regardless. And then we'll check back in next week on these contracts. In the Discord, I'm going to post it as an event. And there'll be a time and you can say I'm interested and stuff. It'll be easier to just follow it. So I'm going to put it up for next Friday. So be on the lookout for that. Sweet. You guys are the best. Appreciate every single one of you for being here. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy the stream. Enjoy the playback. Throw it on while you're driving or whatever. Go for a run. Kind of soak it in. This is something that's going to take a while for you to fully understand it. Awesome. All right, guys. See you, Tim. See you, Algo. See you, Biblical. See you, Max. Shibby. If you're still here, Pez. We'll catch you guys later. Thanks.